here, there's a bunch of nested if statements. However, I removed the indentation. Right? This is awful to read. Everything is flush to the left. So, and that's how Ruby sees it. Ruby doesn't necessarily look at the indentation. Right? Or it does not look at the indentation. So if Ruby sees it like this, how does Ruby know which ones are the inner if statements and which ones are the outer if statements? That's what I want to explain now. So Ruby starts at the beginning, and it says, okay, line number 1, here is an if statement. So Ruby makes a note in its head that I'm going to put a comment here to represent what Ruby is tracking. So Ruby thinks to itself, okay, we've got an if statement that is at, I'm going to call it level 1. A level 1 if statement, meaning an outermost if statement. Does that make sense when I say level 1 if statement? It's outermost. Now, on line 2, Ruby hits another if statement. So Ruby thinks like this. I have not yet seen an end to the level 1 if statement, but yet I'm encountering another if. I'm going to therefore conclude that this second if is a level 2 if statement. So it makes a note to itself that this is a if level 2. It then processes line 3, which is in the level 2 if statement. This else belongs to whatever if statement we're currently in. So the if statement that we've most recently encountered is level 2. So that means we're still in the level 2 if statement. So this is part of level 2. And now we finally hit our end. So this end concludes whatever if statement we're in. So this concludes level 2. And now we're actually back to level 1. I'll go through the rest and we'll go over this again. We now reach that. So now Ruby thinks we're back at level 1. So this else if is part of level 1. Now we hit another if statement. So we have still not reached the end. We have not seen the end keyword while we are in level 1. So that must mean that this if statement is beginning another level 2 if statement. Processes the P3 on line 9. And then on line 10, we have else. So the most recently encountered if is if level 2. That means we're still in level 2. Now we encounter if again. What level if is this? This is a level 3 because Ruby thinks I haven't even encountered an end keyword and I'm still in level 2, but I'm encountering another if. That must mean that this if is a level 3 if statement. We're processing line 12. Line 13, which level is this else part of?
3.
It's part of level 3 because we're still in level 3. Now we have an end. This concludes level 3. And now where are we back to? We're back to level 2. Awesome. Now we hit another end statement. So what does that do? That concludes level 2. And now we're back to level 1. And now we have an else. That's going to be part of level 1. And this end concludes level 1. Does that make any sense at all? That is how Ruby looks at it. So if we encounter this code, and I asked you to properly indent everything, you would have to go through this similar process to figure out how to indent things. And I am going to give you an exercise momentarily that does ask you to do that. So let's go back up to the top and start indenting things properly. So this, on line 1, is our if level 1. We're going to keep that all the way flush to the left. On line 2, we have an if level 2. So to indicate that it's a level 2 that's within level 1, I'm going to push it to the right. I'm going to push the P even one tab further to the right of line 2 to indicate that that is contained within the if level 2. The else, I'm going to keep flush with the if level 2. The P2, I'm going to move within the else. And the N, I'm going to keep flush with the if level 2. So even if you came across code that was non-indented, you would have the ability, you wouldn't be lost. There is a way to figure out how should it be indented. In fact, some text editors have a feature that you just click a button and it automatically indents your code if it's not indented. And it basically goes through a similar process to figure out. Now, if you're missing an end somewhere, it's not going to work right. The assumption is that you have all your ends in place. OK, else if. This is level 1, so we're going to keep that flush to the left. On line 8, we have an if level 2, so what am I going to do with that? Indent. How many times am I going to indent the P3 on level 9? Twice. The else? Once. The if?
Twice? No, twice.
Twice. Because it's level 3, which means it's within level 2, and to indicate that, I'm moving it one tab to the right of the else up here. Does that make sense? How many times do I indent the P4?
Three.
Yeah. I'm going to move it. This line 12 is the farthest to the right line we've encountered so far, because it's within the if level 3. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? OK, else. Where does this else go? Yeah, it's part of the level 3, so I keep it flush with the if level 3. The P goes within that. The end, I keep flush with the level 3, because this end concludes the level 3 if. This concludes level 2 if, so I keep it flush with this if level 2 that began on line 8. So this concludes this. So this if, else, end are part of level 2. This is good. This all indent 1, and we're done.